Join me as I dive deep into the question of whether human nature forces history to repeat itself. I'll be investigating some mind-blowing examples to see if we can crack this mystery together. Human nature is a complex and multifaceted concept that has long been debated by philosophers, psychologists, and historians alike. At its core, it refers to the fundamental characteristics, traits, and tendencies that define us as humans, shaping our behavior, decisions, and interactions with the world around us. But have you ever stopped to think about how human nature might influence the course of history, leading to patterns and cycles of repetition that seem to play out time and time again? One of the biggest challenges we face in understanding whether human nature leads to recurring historical patterns is that it's incredibly difficult to isolate and quantify the complex array of factors that contribute to these events. We're talking about the intricate interplay between individual personalities, group dynamics, cultural norms, economic systems, and a multitude of other variables that all converge to shape the trajectory of human history. Moreover, the problem is further complicated by the fact that human nature itself is subject to change over time, making it a moving target that's hard to pin down. Another issue we encounter is that human behavior is often driven by unconscious biases, emotional reactions, and irrational impulses, which can lead to illogical and contradictory actions. This means that even when we think we're making rational decisions, we might be operating on autopilot, driven by deep-seated fears, desires, and motivations that we're not even aware of. And yet, despite these challenges, we must strive to understand the role of human nature in shaping the course of history if we hope to break free from the cycle of repetition. Throughout history, there have been numerous examples that illustrate the connection between human nature and repeated events. One particularly striking case in point is the rise and fall of empires, which often follow a predictable pattern. Whether we're talking about ancient civilizations like Greece or Rome, or more modern powers like Britain or the United States, the urge for power, expansion, and domination seems to be an inherent part of human nature, driving us to repeat the mistakes of the past. Another classic example is the cyclical nature of economic booms and busts, which can be attributed to our propensity for greed, speculation, and risk-taking. Theories like the tragedy of the commons, the prisoner's dilemma, and the concept of bounded rationality offer valuable insights into the underlying psychological and social mechanisms that drive human behavior, explaining why we're prone to making the same mistakes over and over. For instance, the tragedy of the commons highlights how individual self-interest can lead to collective failure, as we exploit shared resources without consideration for the long-term consequences. Similarly, the prisoner's dilemma reveals how our inability to cooperate and trust each other can result in suboptimal outcomes, even when mutual benefit is possible. Another pivotal insight that ties together our exploration is the realization that awareness of these patterns can empower us to break the cycle of repetition. By understanding the deeper motivations and drivers behind human behavior, we can begin to develop strategies that mitigate their negative consequences, allowing us to learn from history and create a better future. This means recognizing that our individual and collective actions have consequences, acknowledging the importance of cooperation and collaboration, and cultivating a sense of empathy and compassion that transcends national, cultural, and ideological boundaries. History doesn't have to repeat itself. By grasping the fundamental nature of humanity, we can work towards a more harmonious, equitable, and peaceful world where the lessons of the past serve as a catalyst for positive change rather than a blueprint for repetition. As we move forward, we must remember this critical insight, carrying it with us like a beacon of hope in our collective pursuit of a better tomorrow. That's it for today's exploration into the complex relationship between human nature and the cyclical nature of history. Be sure to share your thoughts on the topic in the comments below, and tune in next time for more in-depth insights into the human experience.